I just heard it will only take a day. So I'm just going to invite the Holy Spirit into this word, into this message, into this room right now, because I feel like the Holy Spirit needs to help me on this, because this is a big message. This is a big message, and I don't take this lightly, because I know that people are going to be hearing it, and I want to give it justice. And I understand that the platform I have comes a very big responsibility. There's people listening, and I want to keep people aligned with the wisdom of God, the spirit of wisdom, and also, I just want to point this message back up to Jesus, up to God, full glory to Him. But I just heard it will only take one day. And I want to give a little bit of a background story time, like on things in my life, the biggest things in my life, good and bad, they only take a moment, right? So it can be one day, like just one day where something happens and your whole life changes its trajectory for the good and bad. For example, the good, I'll talk about when I met my husband. So basically what happened is I was living in England, and I just kept sensing basically that something was coming, that someone was coming, and I honestly couldn't put a finger on it. I didn't know what was happening, but I just felt it. It was like a feeling, like just a knowing. And when I'm looking back now, I know that God was preparing me, that something was going to happen to me. So I was in Australia the year before, and I met some really good friends from Germany. I had a best friend in Australia who was from Germany. So I was like, right, I'm going to go and visit her. I'm going to just go on a little holiday and see the people who I met in Australia. So I flew into Cologne, and this whole time, like I remember sitting in the plane, I was declaring, I was like, this is going to be the best weekend of my whole life. And I don't even know what came over me to say that. And at this time, I wasn't a Christian. I was more into New Age. So I was saying like, thank you, universe, and everything. But I knew that something significant was coming. And then what happened is I was seeing like owls everywhere. I was seeing signs, and I just knew that something big was happening, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I just didn't know, but I felt it. And I was like, what is coming? What is happening? And then I met this guy, this handsome man, and I was like, wow, and I don't know if you've had this, but when like you met a person, you've never felt this way before. Like you just knew. I knew directly when I saw him, he's not just going to be random in my life. He's going to be a big person in my life, a significant character, a significant role in my life. And it was right. Like I ended up marrying him, and we've got 2 kids now. And it's really beautiful. But I also want to talk about maybe the worst time in my life, like the negative time in my life. So also I was in Australia, and that was the year before I met my husband, and I was in Sydney, and me and my friend Lisa, we were like, right, let's go to the beach today. We'll go to this like private area. It was called like Watson's Bay in Australia in Sydney. And we went on this bus trip, and something just didn't feel right in my spirit. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was like, today it's a bit of a funny day. And we were on the beach, and then when we were sat looking on the bay, we saw people jumping off the cliff, like just for fun. And Lisa was like, should we go and do that? And I was like, yeah, why not? And keep in mind, I was absolutely petrified. Like I didn't actually want to do it, but I was like, no, I want to push myself to break beyond my fears and my own barriers. I'm going to do it. Moving on. So we were at the top of the cliff, and I was like looking down, and it was really, really high. It was like probably 150 meters high. And I was like, something doesn't feel right, but I'm going to push through it. And I completely ignored my own intuition. I was like, no, I'm going to do it. And when I ran to the end of the rock, there was fear that struck me in the last moment, and I didn't fully jump. I kind of skidded down the rock, and it kind of took me right to the bottom. I have scars down my body. They're faded now, but I've still got scars all down my body. My foot cut open. I thought my foot was literally going to have to be amputated. Like right on the heel, it was hanging off. Too much information, I know, but I'm sorry. But when I went into the water, I just felt like a pressure, but to be honest, I just thought it was from the water. But when I came back up, I was looking around me and the water was red, and I was like, what the heck? Something's happened. And they were screaming at me. People were screaming at me like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I realized like I couldn't feel my legs. My legs were completely numb. And somebody jumped in the water and took me onto the side, because it was like this kind of cave formation that I was on the side. And then like helicopters were coming, and I really thought, wow, that could have gone a lot worse. And the surfer lifeguard who came to get me on his little surfboard was like, if you just jumped a little bit differently, you would not be here. So that sent me into a crisis, like, wow, how lucky I was. And what kind of like set me off, I couldn't walk, I was on crutches after a whole day in the hospital with stitches and everything. I was like, I can't be here, like I'm just going to be in a hostel in the bed because I cannot do anything. So I decided to fly back home to England the next day with no painkillers, no medication. And I remember this guy on the airport who had to wheel me on this little wagon because I couldn't walk. He said, well, God was really looking after you. He had his angels around you. And I was like, wow, like I never really thought about that before. But after that experience, I started to question everything. I started to question why I was even here, what my purpose was, and kind of sent me on this journey of exploration, I would say, on a search for the meaning of life, for the truth. And actually I got deceived more into New Age because I was so closed off from religion, from God, Jesus, because I just every time had a conception that there was so much corruption in religion, where spirituality was a bit more open. But the thing is, it led me on a journey of deception. But what I want to say is every single day is an opportunity for a massive thing to change your trajectory. And what I do want to say is follow your intuition, follow the feelings that God sends you, because I used to think intuition was just like us like sensing something, but it's not. It's really a warning sign, like a signal from God that he's telling you that something's coming, or something is right or something is wrong. So do not ignore intuition, because with the jumping situation, I had a feeling like I shouldn't be doing it. I shouldn't do it. It didn't feel right, but I did it anyways. And when you ignore the intuition, the revelations, and the signals that God sends you, it can lead you down a negative trajectory. However, if you follow what is like the signal is saying, yeah, do it, this is really good, this is how it's meant to be, and giving you all of the green flags, then follow it, because every single day is an opportunity to change the trajectory of life. But what I want to say in this message is it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for God to put you in situations to transform your whole trajectory if you are doing the same thing. I'm being called to tell you to switch up what you are doing, to book that trip, to go to that place, to get out there, to go in the world, to not always be so rigid in your plans, like working home, to do a bit more, because the Lord wants to put you in the right situation. He wants to introduce you to the right people, but he wants you to follow where he's taking you right now, to not ignore the warning signs he's given you, but to follow the green flags, the green lights, because he wants to take you, he wants to change the trajectory of your life. It keeps on coming up. To change the trajectory of your life, but you have to be the one to make some changes, right? To get out of the routine, to do new things, to form new habits. So this is the word that I have today. It can all change in one day, but make sure, if you want it to be for the good, you follow what the Lord is telling you to do. You listen to the signals that the Lord is putting within you, to follow the green light because it's going to lead you on the yellow brick road, to not ignore the warning signs, not ignore the warning signals, because these warning signals, the intuition, can save us. It saves us from things that we are not meant to do, or things that are not meant to happen, things that are going to lead us astray or lead us down a negative path. So please listen to this. It's very important. I'm going to end this video there because I've said enough, but I love you so much. Let me know in the comments what you think of this word. Also, check the description box where you'll find everything from me, all my ebooks. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye. God has placed creativity, passions, gifts inside you for a reason. So why not let it flow into the things to create? With Printify, you can turn your faith, your passions, your gifts, your creativity into tangible things. You can use them personally or you can share them with the world. You can create anything into custom products that can remind you of your purpose every single day. Whether it's a journal, some apparel, or some mugs, there are so many products to choose from. All you have to do is get creative, use your gifts, and turn your passions, turn your ideas into tangible things. With Printify, you can turn your God-given gifts, your God-given passions and talents into tangible things where you can also create abundance for yourself. If not, you can just use them for your own liking. So the link to Printify will be in my description. Enjoy.